my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Christine. So today I have a photo tip video for you today, and I'm going to share 5 tips that I have to take better photos at home. Before we go ahead and get started, I do have a playlist all about all the tips about taking photos, how to pose, all of the Instagram tips. So definitely check out that playlist if you haven't already. I'll go ahead and link it up above. I do want to preface this by saying that being on YouTube and Instagram is my full-time job, so I am an influencer. Since it is my job, I do take taking pictures on Instagram very seriously. So if you're here because you want to up your Instagram game, or even if you just want to take more photos for fun, all power to you. I don't think we should shame anybody for wanting to do so. First tip that I have is to make sure you have the proper equipment for taking your own photos at home. So if you saw my video on how I take my own photos at home, I take you behind the scenes with me and share with you like my whole setup and stuff like that. So definitely check out that video if you haven't already, but pretty much all that you need is a tripod, a clicker, and a camera or a phone. I take most of my pictures using my camera. I use the Sony a6400. It is my favorite, and it's a camera that I use to film all of my videos, and I love it because it actually has a flip up screen. If you don't have the money for a fancy camera, I don't think you need it at all. I used to take all of my photos on my iPhone, and I do have the iPhone X, so it does take super high quality images. So whether you are going to be taking pictures on your camera or your iPhone, the tripod that I use for both is the same, and it's a tripod that I got off of Amazon, and I'll go ahead and link it down below in the description box. But I believe it's around $40, but I think it is so worth the money. I love it, and it's so lightweight. If you want to use a tripod with your phone, you do have to buy a little adapter situation, and this has a little screw that screws into any tripod. I have the iPhone Max, so my phone is a little bit bigger, but you can stretch it out like this, and then on the tripod, I can actually turn it vertically as well. The last thing that you need is a clicker. So this is actually a Bluetooth clicker that I picked up from Amazon as well. It's really nice because it connects to your phone via Bluetooth, and you can actually trigger your iPhone's shutter by clicking this button once you connect it via Bluetooth. And this was super helpful whenever I travel or whenever I want to take my own photos on my iPhone. Most of the photos of me and Brandon on my feed, I use this shutter button. If you want to be taking photos on your camera, actually connect my iPhone to my camera, and I'm able to use my iPhone as kind of like a remote control / clicker for that. I'll go ahead and link all the stuff that I talked about down below in the description box as well. Second tip that I have is to make sure you have good lighting, especially if you're going to be taking iPhone photos. I feel like because you can't take raw images on the iPhone, you don't have as much flexibility with editing as you do with camera photos. So you want to make sure that you're shooting at good times of the day where you're getting enough sunlight coming in. So I like shooting it around like 8 to 11 a.m. or around like 4 to 6 p.m. right before sunset. And I feel like those times are perfect because you're not getting direct sunlight, but you're getting like just the perfect angle where the lighting of all your photos end up looking super pretty and really well lit. I don't like shooting in direct sunlight as much just because I feel like the shadows and the lighting can be super harsh, and it's really difficult to edit it. If you don't have a whole lot of natural light where you are, you can also use a ring light. A lot of the times when I'm taking like selfies in my room, I'll go ahead and just bring my ring light in anyway because it helps to light up my face really nicely. I do have a ring light right now, so it does help to add to the natural sunlight that I am using as well. So I think it's a nice supplemental thing. The third tip that I have is to make sure you have a nice background. A lot of the times I get comments from people where they say like, my house isn't photogenic, I don't have like pretty areas in my house. But honestly, I think if you have a wall and a window, you have a pretty background. I even took some pictures for my sister while I was in Seattle, and we took pictures around my parents' house in areas where she never even thought about taking pictures. And like, all you need is not a pretty background, not a picture perfect house, but you need to have an eye for it. And so a lot of the times I will actually hold my iPhone and hold it vertically because this is how I'm going to be taking my photos. And I'll actually walk around the house and kind of like hold my phone up and see what it's going to look like in the camera, because a lot of the times you're so used to seeing your house in every day that I think you'd be surprised by what areas of your house end up looking really pretty in pictures. For me, I prefer any type of like wall without a whole lot going on. I think that looks really good for pictures. I think any type of like clean corner with like little accent pieces like a mirror or a plant looks really nice. And I also like any wall situation that meets with a window, because that way you can play a lot with like the angles and the editing and stuff like that. Another thing that you can do is set up a backdrop. Oftentimes I have used bed sheets as the backdrop of my photos, and you can tape them to your wall. You can hang them in front of like doorways or closets, or usually someplace that has like really good lighting. The fourth tip that I have is to take a lot of photos, experiment, play with different angles, different times of the day, different lighting. Maybe try in a room where you have a ring light, try at a different time of the day where it's brighter and you may not need a ring light. Also, I found that there are certain areas of my house where I prefer taking like beauty shots, which is like upper body and above photos, and then other areas of my house where I prefer full body shots. So maybe you have an area of your house that looks better for beauty shots, and then another area that has like a more open space that looks better for full outfit pictures. A lot of the times too, I end up taking pictures in front of the same wall, the same corner, and you guys might start to recognize those corners on my Instagram, but I've tried to experiment different corners of the house in different areas and playing with different angles, and I've actually found places that I never thought of taking photos in front of before. So definitely recommend experimenting, playing around, because you never know what you'll find. The fifth and last tip that I have is editing is everything. Once you master how to edit a photo and how to get the photo super clean, I feel like you can make any photo look good. A lot of the photos I took of my sister, she never would have even used, because how the photos came out just didn't look super interesting, but after I edited them, it made them look so much more striking and impactful that she was like shocked at how good that they came out. So I do have a video all about how I edit my own photos. I'll go ahead and link up in the corner, but I also have my own presets that are available on my website. If you don't know already, if you follow me on Instagram, TikTok, or even YouTube, I released these presets a couple of weeks ago, and these kind of serve as guides to help you guys edit. And I am planning on launching more preset packs in the future, but right now, since the preset pack that I have is like the basics preset pack, I kind of want to focus on more tutorials and showing you guys how to use those and how to like tweak them for every single lighting and photo situation to kind of like help you guys to up your Instagram game using those preset packs before I release more, because my intention is not to like make a ton of sales and make a ton of money. I would rather help you guys and provide content that's actually helpful for you. So definitely recommend checking out some of my older how to edit videos and kind of familiarizing with Lightroom, and it really can bring a mediocre or like normal looking photo up to a level where it looks super striking and super clean. I've been doing this for around 3 years now and taking photos myself, posting on Instagram, and I feel like it wasn't until this year that I really refined my craft and like kind of low-key a photographer now. But definitely make sure that you are patient with yourself. It takes a lot of time to learn. You're not just gonna become like a great model and photographer and editor right out the bat. So those are all the tips that I have for taking your own photos at home. If you haven't seen it yet, I do have a video all about how to pose, so definitely check out that video if you haven't already. And I'll go ahead and link my preset pack down below in the description box if you're interested in shopping. Also, make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok because I am super active on there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments what was the most interesting thing that you learned from this video, or if you have any tips for anyone else that's taking their own photos at home. I would love to hear back from you guys. Also, by the way, in case you're curious, this top is from Aritzia. I'll go ahead and link all the makeup and jewelry that I'm wearing down below in the description box as well. That is it. I will see you in my next video. Bye.